Oilers, you got a great offense with Connor McDavid. So I have them sweeping them.
Yeah, well, I don't think you heard my point. The San Francisco Giants have 3 more in the 2010s than the Rangers have in their entire history. So, yeah.
It's hard to get back and to get back-to-back wins, and I don't see the Lightning doing it here, so I have them losing to the Hurricanes in 6.
We don't talk about the 2010s because the 2010s had the Astros, and if the Astros didn't happen, the Yankees would have won in 2017 with the Dodgers.
He was close to Frank Reich, and they want Frank Reich back, so that's what they got. It's their discount Frank Reich.
Kaprizov and the rest of this crew, Jordan Greenway, who doesn't get enough props. He definitely is somebody who needs to be mentioned more.
Hi, this is Julie Dobbs. You're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another Outsiders Opinions episode without Austin. He's feeling a little bit better, but still not ready to record. But I am here with a special guest, Cam Koffel, Cam is a big hockey guy. Also, you like all sports, I would say, correct?
I do, yeah. I'm a big sports fan in general, but passionate about a couple and work in one, so...
Yeah, so you work for the Kansas City Mavericks, and what? I think, how long have you been working there?
Yeah, so I've been the director of hockey operations intern since June, mid-June. So right after we got eliminated from the playoffs is when I took the role on. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure. What have been your favorite moments so far?
Well, I think for any sports fan in general, it's pretty cool to be in the arena in a way, and the behind the scenes look is something that is invaluable in my opinion. But some of my favorite moments have been being around the players. And then also the coaching staff. We have a really good coaching staff. And getting to know everyone. There's a lot of people from a lot of different paths of life. And there's a lot of different experiences and a lot of different characters where you can learn no matter who you talk to. Whether it be someone in the front office who's the social media manager or a ticket salesman all the way, to the general manager, right? So... I think some of those are my favorite moments, and getting to know everyone and getting experience that you can't read in a textbook.
Yeah. So you mentioned textbooks. Are there textbooks that we should be reading?
No. I've tried to. No, and that's when I say you get experience you can't read in a textbook. I say it because if it was one universal experience that everybody learned, we could print it in a textbook, right? But it will vary from organization to organization wherever you go, and how things are done, and how we operate. I know we do things differently than other teams, right? Your hometown Allen Americans, who, you grew up near them, and they do things differently than we do. So I think that's what's pretty cool about it, is no matter where you end up going, no matter what wave you ride, it's stuff you'll never be able to learn, you'll never be able to read about, which is why experience is so valuable. Because if experience wasn't necessary, then I could have been reading a textbook for the past 15 years, and I'd probably be in a totally different position, right? So.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, and kind of talking about you joined right after the playoffs, and I don't want to get in trouble with specifics, but what is something like fans, I think we can apply this to hockey as well, for a team that goes deep in the playoffs. What is something that you've seen, I don't want to get you in trouble with specifics, but something that you think the fans should know about what a GM or a director of operations does?
Yeah. So, I am still in the intern phase of it all. So, I've been referred to a couple times as director of hockey operations intern, and I'm also just a hockey operations intern. Like I help with stuff in hockey operations, and so I can speak on behalf of that. And while it's an ever evolving job where there are things that we will continue to add on, things I will continue to do and help out with. But just in general, and I'm sure, our GM and head coach, because he's the same person. His name's Tad O'Had. He could speak on just a plethora of different things that fans would love and need to know, and things I don't even know yet. Right? I've learned less than 1% of everything I will. But something that I can speak on is the amount of work that goes in before you walk in the arena doors from everyone in there to make sure that you are yes, rooting for your team, and most times, and if you're just there as a fan, we want you to also have dinner and a show. We want to make money, right? Like, obviously, because of organizations, we've seen what happens when organizations don't make money. They relocate or they fold. So it is a business, but dinner and a show is something that's really important, where we want you to grab some concessions. We want you to be entertained, right? For 2.5, 3 hours. Before games, I will rotate all around the stadium, whether it be helping out in different capacities, but man, the amount of times I hear the goal horn go off, stuff practice, audio checks, mic checks, fire shooting out of stuff, making sure the game presentations are good to go. Concession workers are there before I am. Like, just getting stuff ready and making sure your experience is good. I would say a lot of people are surprised at the size of our arena, which is Cable Dahmer Arena. A lot of people are surprised about the size of it, and it really does sometimes feel like it is a major league atmosphere. It is. It's loud, and the amenities for fans are pretty good. We like to keep it that way. So I think that's something that fans, before they walk in the doors, no matter what time you walk in the doors, there's been so much preparation done by everybody involved, and I think that's something really important that fans, should know.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And then kind of talking about your position, you've been at the games. What are some things for people that have been watching the NHL, and now you have the minor leagues?
Yeah.
What is something that you want people to know about just the minor league team? It could be the Mavericks.
That's fair. That's fair. So one thing that was taught to me very early on from Coach O'Had is, yes, this is not the major leagues. It's not. It's minor league hockey. It's AA hockey. It's not the major leagues. And a lot of people probably do want to, whether you be a player, staff member, whatever it may be, you want to, maximize your full potential. I think that's fair to say. But, and all the coaches reiterate this, and a lot of the staff, this is our NHL. Like, this is our major league. So we're going to treat it that way, right? We are going to treat it in a way with professionalism. We're going to treat it in a way where the same work ethic applies. There's a care factor that the coaches and the staff in general implement. You got to care, no matter what level you are, and especially in minor leagues. You want people that care. Treat it like it's the major leagues, because it is the major leagues for a lot of people. It is a championship you want to go out and win. It is championship level facilities you want to have. It's championship level amenities, and it's a championship level experience that you want fans to have. You don't want them coming in and going, yeah, there's a reason. This is AA hockey. Oh, and I think we do a very good job at making sure fans, because I've been to every level of hockey. There's not much of a difference when it comes to experience and whatnot. So the care factor is something that's important, and that can be reiterated for any level, especially minor leagues, because a lot of people might come on in and be like, it's just the minor leagues. No, it's our NHL, and that's something that was put in my brain very early on, and I think it makes perfect sense, and it's fair. So
yeah, that's really cool, and thank you, Cam, for joining us and talking about minor league hockey.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Kevin.
Or do you want to talk some more? Or?
No, I mean, whatever you got questions about.
I think I'm just wondering, like, are there any players? Because
okay, I can. So you went, So, and that's fair. I think there are a couple guys you'll see at the next level, if not, NHL. So our starting goaltender, Jack Lafont. Well, we have two goaltenders, and Jack's probably played majority of the games. If we typically split, but Jack has probably gotten just a little bit more starts than Victor Osman. Victor Osman's our number 2 goaltender as well, and I'd say they're 1A, 1B, and we'll call it that because it really is. And 1B, Victor Osman. Victor went to University of Maine. He was a star at Maine. And then Jack LaFontaine. Jack LaFontaine was a draft pick of the Carolina Hurricanes, and he's moved throughout all systems and all levels, and we're lucky to have him. And he's played up at Coachella Valley. He has started games for Coachella Valley. He was with the Seattle Kraken during training camp. So he's a guy that, whether you're an AHL fan, NHL fan, ECHL, no matter what, he's a guy that can steal you a game. And definitely expect him to continue to get reps at the AHL level. And then Cade Borchardt, who's he went to Minnesota State University, also the Mavericks, funny enough. And last year he was an all rookie for ECHL. He led the rookies in points. And he got called up to Coachella Valley, and Coachella Valley is our AHL affiliate. Seattle Kraken is the NHL, but Cade Borchardt, number 28 on the ice, he's got a lot of offensive prowess and dynamic. He's a dynamic player. He can make plays in a lot of different ways, which is something when you have more tools in your toolkit and continue to expand your abilities. And we talk about 5-tool player in baseball, right? Guys like Cade, he's a 5-tool player. He can do a lot of different things pretty good. So he'll continue to get reps at the AHL level. And Kevin, it's as easy as this. If you light it up at the AHL level and the Kraken needs someone, it's a transition. That's just what it is. So you can see it happen. So Cade Borchardt is somebody that will find success at the AHL level. In my opinion, not if, but when he gets to that point. And you never know. Like, you can say, oh, no, you never know. Jordan Bennington, you know him?
Yeah.
He got sent down to the Missouri Mavericks, which was Missouri before Kansas City. That's what the Mavericks they were. He didn't report. And he ended up not playing a game. Carter Verhaeghe, Carter Verhaeghe, Stanley Cup champion with the Florida Panthers. He just got a nice, he's on a nice contract. He's getting paid well in Florida. He was with the Mavericks about 2017, 2018. So there are guys that can make their way to the NHL. They just got to continue to work on their game. And a lot of the guys you'll see in the ECHL, there's one thing that is just not NHL fit or AHL fit. A lot of times you'll see it's size. A lot of 5'8" to 6 foot players. And it's just to prove it at that point. If you're 5'9", 5'10", and you're not stacking up points and numbers in the OHL, just CHL in general, in the junior leagues, NCAA, right? You don't get picked in the draft. You don't sign with an NHL team out of college, and you want to keep playing. I mean, there's a shot the ECHL has a spot for that player, and it's typically because they are 5'10", 5'11", or there's a flaw in their game. We have a defenseman who's a young defenseman. His name's Charlie Wright. Charlie, I think he will continue to prove at each level he goes to, and he's still young. Like, he's getting his game together. You can tell, but I know, like, I've seen adjustments be told, like, hey, this is what you got to do, and he'll do it the next game. I could tell. Like, I knew what those adjustments were. We wanted him to, the organization wanted him to start going in harder to the boards, playing with more fierce, block some shots. He does it last game. Guess what? Mavericks pitch a shutout, right? Mm-hmm. So the block shots, going in hard to the boards, check just... As a defenseman, you want to use your body, right? Like, even Cale Makar, I'm sure, uses his body quite a bit. And so we have multiple players who are continuing to improve. So, yeah, goaltenders, defensemen, forwards. We have a solid team, and we've had our ups and downs a little bit this year. It's funny, like, we have talked about, like, this team, we're still finding our way a little bit. We have a top 4 or 5 record in the league. So, we have high expectations, and you can certainly tell when you're in that locker room. But yeah, there's the Mavericks should hopefully, we should continue to find our groove, find that chemistry and stuff like that. And it's difficult when you do have guys going up and down because you got new players coming in and you lose a line mate potentially. And so, we got some good players, and I think a lot of guys that are continuing to break the ice and will continue to play pretty well under the radar. Just because you're not scoring 70 points doesn't mean you don't have a solid spot on the team. So I think every guy we got a spot for every guy, and I think any of the coaches would say, you take this guy out of the lineup, you can tell, right? You can tell that we need him. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I guess that, of course, is the question of what I asked was just like players in the NHL, but and you talk about that care in the NHL, just that's our NHL. Maybe what should I know about the minor league hockey scene? Not like guys that can move up, but just what is seen for someone that wants to get into the ECHL or maybe attend a Kansas City Mavericks game.
Yeah. So, are you asking about like how to,
or just what's the team like?
Yeah,
and
what's the
like
team
when
like?
you watch those games.
Yeah, that's fair. The minor league hockey scene in general, it's a hard, it's a lot of battle. It's a hard. You watch a game where guys are quite literally competing for their careers. Like, that's the reality, because, we are the highest tier of professional hockey in North America. So, when you get past our, if you continue to, there are guys fighting for their careers, and I'll leave it at that. So you'll see battle, you'll see grit, passionate fans, and I'll tell you why. A lot of these teams and markets, they're in smaller markets. Kansas City is one of the bigger markets, and it's not even Kansas City. It's Independence, Missouri, which is about 20 minutes east of Kansas City. You got teams in Wheeling, Pennsylvania, or Wheeling might be in West Virginia. It might be West Virginia. It's one of the two. I don't even know, right? And that's the point, right? It's that you have smaller markets but passionate fans, because there's not much. You think there's a lot to do in Wheeling? There's not. I've looked. I've never been there, but I've looked it up. There's not a ton. There's not a ton. So, Fishers, Indiana, Cincinnati. There's a team in Cincinnati. So you'll have a passionate fan base, which is pretty cool. Smaller arenas mean a lot more crowd noise, right? So I think that's something that you can expect across minor league hockey. The grit from both the fans and the players, I would say, honestly. So I think that's something you can expect. And have you ever been to a minor league hockey game?
Yes, I have. I've actually been to the Allen Americans.
You go to. So you've been. That's a big arena.
It's a big arena, yeah. And I was fortunate I was close to the ice, which was pretty fun. They do have a lot of stuff going on. Met the mascot.
That's fun. Cool. Yeah. That's fun. No. Yeah. So like Allen is near Dallas a little bit, and so you do have teams, and proximity wise. So like I don't know why I said Wheeling, Pennsylvania. It's Wheeling, West Virginia. In West Virginia in general, there's not a big city, but yeah. For example, in Pennsylvania, you got like Wilkes-Barre Scranton, who's in the AHL, but again, it's Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's actually President Joe Biden's from, but there's not a ton. So when you have a sports team, and when you can come, and as I'll wrap it up with this. Dinner and a show. If you can provide dinner and a show, then if you build it, they'll come, right? That's just how it is, and that's what we try to do. So we call our fans the Orange Army, because they are, and it's a fun little name, and they bring it every game. The Chiefs were playing a couple days ago against the Bills, like a top matchup, right? Arena was still packed. So it says something about our fans. So it's pretty cool. So gritty fans, gritty players, great atmosphere. That's what you can expect in minor league hockey.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, thank you, and thanks for extending it. And I appreciate you coming on. And
of course.
Yeah. Any final thoughts from you?
No. I appreciate you having me, and go Mavericks.
All right. We can agree on that. And that is all we got. Thank you for listening, and make sure to be on the lookout for more. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Do you want to plug anything, Cam? Any Instagram? X or...
You can follow me at, I think it's Cameron Koffel, maybe Cam Koffel. I don't know. I don't do Instagram too much. Okay. But follow them, Kansas City Mavericks, and check us out.
All right. That's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.